So my name is Ben Fisher and I'm the chassis team lead, as well as also being the co-team leader alongside Emily Williams. Since our last video, there have been a number of developments from the chassis. As you can see, we've got the front roll hoop here and also the front bulkhead that our technician Lee has fabricated. The front roll hoop is a very similar design to last year. However, because we have pushed it forward, we have had to adjust the design very slightly in order for it to fit into the car. So because we've pushed it slightly further forward, due to the taper of the cockpit, the front roll hoop is slightly smaller, and therefore we've reduced some of the weight out of the front roll hoop. So in the past couple of weeks, we have been doing some tests for the shoulder harness and anti-submarine and lap belt mounts. The reason these have to be tested is because due to rule changes, we've had to redesign them and come up with a new design that satisfies these rules. For the anti-submarine and lap belt mount, we've been able to redesign it and take out some of the weight. And for the shoulder harness, we've been able to adjust for a larger size bolt and still keep the weight down. So perhaps we can take these onto a workbench and have a look at them. So this is the CR12 and 13 anti-submarine and lap belt mounts, and this is the CR14 anti-submarine and lap belt mounts. By redesigning the anti-submarine and lap belt mounts bracket, it means that we've been able to optimise the weight and reduce it by approximately 100 grams. To ensure that these brackets meet the requirements, we've got to do a physical test where we clamp the fixture down, put a pin through the holes, and then apply a load of excess of 19.5 kilonewtons. Both of these brackets passed. However, because we took some of the material out, it passed at a lower point. It still passed, and this is satisfactory. Recently, we took CR13 down to Landau to do aerodynamic tests on the car. We looked at drag and downforce. Let's head over there now and see what happens.
We're here to get some strain measurements. We have 4 rods, 2 at the front and 2 at the back, and they've each got a full bridge on them. And basically getting the strain means it's the easiest way to calculate the downforce on the whole car. So we are sponsored by National Instruments and we're using NI Compact DAC. It's got a module in it where we can plug our strain gauges and we program it using LabVIEW programming language. I'm studying Masters in Electrical and Electronic Engineering right now, and I'm doing a lot of electronic implementations. For example, obviously the strain measurements, but also different various sensor kind of pullings. So for example, temperature, we're going to have some radiators and we'll be taking the temperature of the water going in there to make sure it's about right. I'm also doing some DRS, and some other people are doing like launch control, traction control, etc. So I chose to do this project because I wanted to take myself out of my comfort zone, and especially at the start there is just tons of terms that I've not heard of before, and you know, things like throttle or chassis and stuff like that, and because it's just completely out of my field. And yeah, I think a big challenge for an electrical engineer is to take themselves out of that comfort zone and be able to work in a multidisciplinary team.
So since the last video, the powertrain systems have come quite a long way in terms of design. The designs are all finalised, and you can now see some sort of physical appearance of these designs. You can see the fuel tank here now has been mounted onto the space frame ready, where the radiators have now been ordered. They were spec'd up and ordered, and you can see here the beginnings of an exhaust system. This is just sort of a mock-up currently, but in the coming week we'll be welding tubes onto this to complete the exhaust headers and collector. Next, for the space frame, before it can be mounted to the monocoque, we want most things assembled onto it. So as I said, immediately the exhaust headers will be completed. From that, the silencer box has also had quite a big overhaul in terms of exhaust system, and that will be mounted onto the back of the car. It needs to be welded up and it will be made in-house. The sump for the lubrication system, we're going to get that cast again this year. Again, it's something being designed by ourselves, and now that's been sent out to be cast. And we'd like that all mounted on before the car gets completed. thank you very much for watching and subscribe for more videos.